Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Young here and welcome to an episode of Nasian Persuasion. In this show I essentially just kind of discuss gaming related things like the recent Metal Gear Solid 5 onslaught of footage, which man, just left me absolutely giddy and happy. And anyways, it's 6 o'clock in the morning right now. If my words don't come out all that, fluently, I do apologize, but I've been up for a long time just trying to get all this Metal Gear Solid 5 coverage together. And yeah, I'm just going to finish the day off with this kind of first impressions of what I saw in the cutscene they showed off, along with the African jungle walkthrough. The cutscene itself was pretty awesome. It showed more of the relationship between Quiet and Big Boss, and weirdly enough, it seems as though they are allies to a degree, at least initially. I mean, from what I'm assuming, that cutscene is from an earlier part of the game. But Kojima stated before that Quiet would be sort of the heroine of the game, while Big Boss would act more of a villain, and players would be playing as the villain. And of course, this is a villain with reasons for what he does. It's not just some evil maniac. Big Boss, there's a reason why he becomes evil, why he becomes a demon. But yeah, starting out, it seems as though they are in somewhat good terms. It's hard to say what sort of history those two characters have, but the cutscene does say that Quiet saves Big Boss. So I'm assuming that in one of the missions in Afghanistan, because in the E3 2013 trailer, Quiet definitely seems to be in Afghanistan. I feel like somewhere around there she somehow saves Big Boss, and Big Boss kind of grows attached to her, and things go on from there. But I'm gonna have to analyze all this stuff to draw any better conclusions. I mean, if you have any theories, let us know in the comments below. But yeah, no, it's an interesting dynamic, those two. And as we saw in the Jungles of Africa footage, you can actually call her as a support buddy. So yeah, I mean, and she really seems to be, she seems to look up to Big Boss almost. Like the way she kind of looks to Big Boss for reassurance when Kaz and Ocelot, they're all like, grab her, shoot her, whatever. She kind of looks to Big Boss like, what do I do? And Big Boss is just like, it's all good, I got this, just, do what I tell you, you'll be fine. He kind of gives her that look, and she's like, aight, and she just kind of goes for it. So yeah, I don't know, they have a very interesting dynamic. It's weird. I want to find out more about their relationship, why they are on such friendly and sort of trusting terms. But yeah, Quiet's powers look very impressive, and I'm pretty convinced at this point that it's invisibility. I mean, Ocelot tells his men, or not Ocelot. God, see, 6 o'clock in the morning, I can't think. No, actually, it was Ocelot. For God's sakes. Okay, my brain is all over the place. Ocelot tells the Diamond Dog's men to use the thermal goggles to find her when she turns invisible. If she would have disintegrated, thermal goggles would have done nothing. But the fact that they could find her using the thermal goggles is pretty clear indication to me that her powers, or one of her powers, is invisibility, not teleportation, not disintegration. I mean, she can run really fast, as we saw in the Africa jungle gameplay, and she can like jump really high and do all this crazy shit. But disintegration is not one of them, and teleportation isn't another one of those things either. So I'm pretty convinced at this point that her powers are closer to invisibility. But yeah, apart from this dynamic between Big Boss and Quiet, and seeing more of Quiet's powers, I didn't learn much else from the cutscene, except, you know, for that one last part where Big Boss says we'll have to kill her sometime, but yeah, and when that time comes, I'll do it. So maybe Big Boss is just kind of taking advantage of this vulnerability that Quiet has for Big Boss for whatever reason. So it's hard to say, you know. This cutscene could be interpreted in a lot of different ways. One other thing that I found really interesting was that Kaz and Big Boss seem to be at odds. Like, you can tell Kaz was really pissed by Big Boss's decision to trust her. He was kind of pouting all the time, and you know, right after Big Boss says, I'll kill her, I'll do it, Kaz kind of gives him this look like, ugh, whatever, you know. He just kind of walks away like, fuck you, you know. So yeah, I feel like Kaz and Big Boss are gonna have a falling out in this game. I don't know, it's just there've been little things here and there in all the footage that seem to show that they're gonna be at odds more than ever in this game. But I mean, hey Kaz, you can't blame Big Boss for taking certain things into his own matter after you fucked him over in Peace Walker. You know, tell him everything. But anyways, that's another story. But yeah, that's it for the cutscene. The gameplay was mind-blowing. I mean, it surpassed my expectations. I was just watching that gameplay footage with my mouth wide open, just like drool seeping through my mouth. It was awesome. And all the new items, I mean, there were the cool ones and there were the quirky ones, like the decoy balloons. And God, the arm, the yellow arm, and the I forgot what it was called, the shock arm or something. That was awesome. I'm pretty sure that the game will allow players to switch out arms, and each arm will have a different effect. Since the text wasn't Japanese, I couldn't tell if the yellow arm you could like do the knock thing like you could with the red arm, or if that's like a specific function to the red arm. But I'll, you know, when I do an analysis, I'll clarify that. But it seems as though certain arms will have certain unique capabilities. Like the yellow arm will, you know, have that will have the ability to shock enemies, to stun them, like that stun knife from Peace Walker. That was really awesome. Yeah, the decoy balloons, so many ways to use them. Like, that's the thing about Kojima. He finds ways to implement things in various different ways. You know, the decoy balloon can be used to lure targets. And hilarious about it is that it actually has this audio playback thing that says which means kept you waiting, huh? So that keeps playing over and over again. That's hilarious. But yeah, you can lure guards with it. You can also, like, if they're firing at you, you can drop some decoys and then come back around and ambush them, because they'll be kind of distracted by the decoy. They'll think, oh, that's Snake, and they'll shoot at it. You can also, if you deploy the balloon close to a target, you can actually knock him out, like the player did there. He actually threw him off the cliff using the balloon, and that was really awesome. And just the entire demo just showed off multiple ways to use items. So yeah, there was the balloon, there was the arm, there was that pin radar or something was it called? I forget what it was called. I'll analyze more of it later, but it essentially detected life around a radius centered around the player. And it according to the commentary from my translators, it doesn't detect like machines and stuff, but it detects life. So it could probably be human or animals. It just detects life, and it shows them on the screen instead of on like a radar like in Metal Gear Solid 3. That was kind of cool. The effect was really cool. The analyzer makes a return, so you can check up on if this guard has good stats. Is it worth Fultoning this guy? And yeah. What else was there? Oh yeah, Quiet as a buddy was pretty freaking sick. Yeah, I was not expecting that, to be honest. I figured players will eventually be able to deploy human buddies, but it seems like that's a feature that'll be available pretty early. I thought it would start out with animals and then it would move on to humans. But yeah, I mean, but who knows? I mean, I don't really know how far along the African jungle takes place in terms of the game, so yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I was right about this whole support buddy thing. I mean, it was a theory that I made up, you know, when I saw the horse, the green marker, and when I saw the buddy option, I was like, wait, the horse, maybe that's maybe a support buddy. And yeah, I was right about that. I'm not trying to brag or anything, I'm just letting you guys know. I could have been wrong, but it was just sort of this theory that I had. But yeah, the horse essentially is a support buddy. And it seems as though you can only have one support buddy at a time because the player had to Fulton the horse before Quiet could come in. But I could be wrong about that. Maybe you can have like a horse and Quiet. But yeah, no, Quiet looks awesome. The way you can interact with her, the way you can like cooperate with her to pull off these crazy stunts was awesome. Like when Snake threw that grenade and she shot it, and the grenade bounced towards the helicopter because she shot it at like the perfect like angle and trajectory and blew up the helicopter that way. That was sick. And just her powers look crazy. I mean, she's like Flash combined with like, I don't know, Nightcrawler, and I don't know, she has crazy powers. She can jump really high, yeah, run really fast, she has great accuracy with her sniper rifle. And yeah, I was very impressed with how the support buddy system worked. I mean, and she's like out of your way too, out of Snake's way. She's not like right there in front of you all the time. She's always like kind of, she finds a spot to lurk in, and then she kind of waits there and defends Snake as is appropriate. The AI seemed really smart, but then again, of course, the entire demo could have been scripted, so I'm not gonna, you know, judge the game fully until it fully launches. But yeah, a lot of action, a lot of thrills, and I mean, God, Kojima showed off a lot more than I expected. And you know, I feel like this is what Metal Gear Solid 5 needed to finally revitalize itself, because lately, the stuff that they've been showing has gotten stagnant. I mean, I've seen Africa, I mean, not Africa, Afghanistan. I've seen Afghanistan since back in 2013, you know, back in the E3 2013 trailer. And it was cool to see like a gameplay demo of that. Then they kept showing that same location over and over again, and it was cool to see different ways to tackle that same mission, but it grew stagnant pretty quickly. With this, my hype just kind of, you know, that fire that was dimming just boom burst again, and it's back alive. It's awesome. This is what Metal Gear Solid 5 needed. Thank God for Kojima that he finally showed off something new, something awesome. He really went all out with this one. I'm very impressed with gameplay. The visuals look stunning. I mean, my God, the jungles of Africa. Like, I had a good feeling about how that portion of the game would look, and it looks stunning. I mean, just, you can see way out there in the distance, just, it's just beautiful, you know? You got the waterfalls and all the flora kind of growing around the cliffs, and it looks amazing. And the forests look amazing. It's filled with wildlife. And I don't know, I almost imagine myself getting lost because it just looks so vast, and just, it looks like an actual forest, you know, and I'm not very good at traversing through forests. So I don't know how, you know, that's what the markers are for, I suppose, but still, I can totally imagine myself just getting lost in the world, like in a good way, just like mesmerized by everything. Yeah, there were Africans in there, and these Africans, they actually spoke in African. I couldn't really make out what language they were speaking, but I'll take a listen to that and hopefully figure something out. But I'm not very familiar with African languages, so if you guys know what language that was, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to let people know in my analysis. But yeah, it was interesting to see African soldiers. And there were a variety of soldiers. One of them was like super armored, so players had to improvise. You know, they couldn't just shoot them. They had to find other ways, like, you know, the electric arm, or knocking him off the cliff with the balloon. Also, the sneaking suit. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, the sneaking suit looks pretty sick. It It definitely reminds me of Solid Snake's sneaking suit from Metal Gear Solid 1. Maybe that's like the prototype version. But, I mean, it's hard to deny that they look very similar. Hideo Kojima clearly took that Metal Gear Solid 1 suit and outfitted it for Big Boss. I can't really tell if that's actually like a canon thing, or if Hideo Kojima just kind of made this because, just, you know, as a reference to Metal Gear Solid 1, because the suit also has that codec, the old codec system from Metal Gear Solid 3, you know, with the headset, with the earplug and everything. So yeah, it was interesting. Like, it was weird to see technology take, you know, 20 steps back, you know, 20 years worth of steps backwards. But yeah, well, it looks really cool though. That's what I care about. And the way you switch costumes in this game is not, you know, through some menu. You actually have to first of all have that specific outfit researched, and then have the support unit send it to you, you know, via the cardboard box. And so yeah, it's not an instant switch. It takes time to switch your costume, you know, with all these steps. So I feel like players are encouraged to plan ahead, you know, not just, oh fuck, I'm in a forest section, I suppose I shouldn't have this snow camo, you know. You know, you can't just switch on the fly. You have to plan ahead, just strategize before you go in and infiltrate a base, because things just don't happen on the fly anymore. Yeah, I thought that was like a more realistic way to implement the system, and I really like it. And it's just, overall, I think it's just good to know that camo switching in the middle of a mission is returning from Metal Gear Solid 3. I don't think I saw a camo index, so yeah, I'm not sure if that's gonna play a role. But I'm sure some outfits will make it tougher for enemies to see than others, depending on the environment, if you choose the right one. So yeah, that's cool. So no, I mean, overall I was extremely impressed, and I've looked at comments, and yeah, just about everyone was blown away by what they saw, from the visuals to the gameplay to the buddy system, just how badass Quiet was. I just hope that all that stuff wasn't scripted, because it looks really hard to pull off, you know. And this guy, I forgot his name because it's 6 o'clock in the morning, but the guy who was playing the game, he's a pro at this game, you know. I think he's one of the level designers, so he knows the ins and outs of this game, and there's always the chance that he created this level to match you know, to present at TGS 2014, and so I just hope that wasn't scripted. But I feel like so far none of the gameplay has been all that scripted, because I think when they presented Ground Zeroes at Kojima Productions LA, the player actually fucked up, and so they showed off something completely different than what they were originally supposed to show off, which was a sneaky style playthrough, but the player got detected, so all hell broke loose, and that wasn't supposed to happen. So I feel like, yeah, it's not like 100% scripted like most games out there. But, you know, we'll see what happens. So, yeah, that pretty much sums up my first impressions. Overall, extremely impressed. My hype for this game is revitalized. Africa looks beautiful, and God, I mean, you saw, most of you I'm sure have seen that little diagram that shows a comparison between the the Afghanistan map with all the other Metal Gear maps, you know, from Metal Gear 1 all the way to Metal Gear Solid 4, and you just saw how huge Afghanistan was. And then I look at Africa and I'm just like this is even, it looks even bigger, you know. So I don't know how yeah, I don't know how I'll be traversing through that entire jungle, but I honestly cannot wait to try out Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm hyped all over again. I'm glad Kojima decided to show off new things. And I'm probably repeating myself because it's 6 o'clock in the morning and I just can't think about the things that I've said. But yeah, let us know in the comments below your thoughts on what you saw in the gameplay footage. Just leave any sort of things that you may notice that I may not notice that could help out with the analysis. I'll be starting an analysis after I go to sleep, go to bed, and you know, wake up and get some rest because I can't do shit like this. Yeah, let us know in the comments below anything you might see that I might not notice. You know, if you know what certain Japanese dialogue or text say that is important to that could be important to an analysis, let us know. Just anything that could be useful, please let us know in the comments below. And also let us know your thoughts about what Kojima presented. You know, just what you're expecting in the final game after you saw all this. And just also let us know your opinions about the relationship between Quiet and Big Boss, which I find to be really interesting. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling now. That is it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Let us know in the comments below, all that stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much. And Young out.